Chat Man Friday,
a podcast for men in North and West Melbourne. Chatman Friday.
Chatman Friday.
Hello, dear audience. Again, Chatman Friday, the next season of Chatman Friday. This is Syed again with Usman in this episode, and we have a beautiful guest today again. So, Usman will start introducing the guest today.
Well, it's a very big lucky day that we are having. It's episode number 6, and we are very happy to have Mr. John, who's from the PeterMac Men Shed. I've met John in the when we are doing our Men Out of the Margin program, and I was really astonished about the amount of time and effort that he would like to give to all of the participants of the Men Shed. And I think that everyone who go to the PeterMac Men Shed, they can make wonders.
Yes.
And this makes me wonder whether I can do it myself or not. But I will leave the floor to John, and welcome, John.
Yes, very welcome, John.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello to your podcast listeners.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, John, tell us a little bit about yourself. What would you like us to know about you?
My background is very diverse. I originally trained as a geologist and worked in exploration for a number of years, and then worked underground on the west coast of Tasmania, and also was a senior mine geologist in Cobar in central New South Wales before doing some extra study and ending up in corporate, where I did a lot of financial analysis and valuations and cash flow forecasts and such. And then from there, a stint with JB Weir as a broker, and then back to contracting. And my last job was with BHP in South Australia. So my background is very, very diverse, but all of it been in resource industry. So I actually have no formal training in carpentry, plumbing, electronics at all.
That's interesting.
That's all self-taught. My father was an architect, and I learned a fair number of hands-on skills with him. But I do have a passion for creating things.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Woodwork is one way in which I can satisfy that need within myself to achieve and to create.
Wow. Because you can never imagine, like someone who's worked on the financial institution work and geology and so on. Like I graduated in physics, and I've learned, I was a teacher for some time, but I never imagined myself in a workshop doing things with my hands. I wish to do that, but I say, it's very far. So what made you do that? Like you said that you have, of course, your dad has helped you with that, but what's the urge? Why? And why did you take this first step to do this?
Well, in the finance industry, I was building financial models of companies and such, where I knew that I was wrong. The only question was, how wrong was I going to be? And also the outcomes that I had a shelf life of about 3 months before new data would make itself available and my projections would become irrelevant. But with when you deal with the physical creation of something, it's far more satisfying to step back and to know that you've done something worthwhile. So analysis and financial analysis is transient, but woodwork is solid and meaningful. And particularly when you do it on a community basis, where you get that double blast of A, creating, and B, putting something back into the community that you know is worthwhile and useful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting. John, I believe that in back days, long time ago, so people were designing everything in their mind, and they bring it into life things, even in the carpentry or making things with woodworks too, I think. But now, what about the computer structures? I mean, the AI and this kind of technology. Does it help now, or what do you think?
Well, It's a very specialised area, and one which we at the shed really are not participating in, because again the material we're working with is doesn't lend itself to that sort of thing. AI, we've got a number. We don't have anybody in the shed who's trained in a trade. They come from all sorts of backgrounds, and in fact, we've got one chap who's spent his entire life in the computing industry, and he enjoys basically just working with his hands, because he's escaped the monotony of the monitor and the keyboard. So that's a welcome relief for him.
I would try it. I want to try this.
Let me ask Jonah an interesting question. What is the key tool which always you need it with the woodworks? What is the first key tool?
We have a number of. That's the other thing too. Is in a home workshop, you have a number of tools that you will use, but the major tools are the drop saw, the table saw, and the thickener. Now, each one of those is a significant investment of many thousands of dollars. They're very, very heavy machineries that no man in his normal workshop would carry. But through participating in a men's shed, these forms of equipment are available. So it extends your capability of what you can create enormously.
That's right.
So, one of the great benefits of a larger shed and a larger group.
Yeah. So what are the main programs that are run by the PeterMac Men Shed?
Well, the PeterMac Men Shed was initiated through the Wellbeing Centre, which is an attempt to provide a psychologically safe and comforting area for people going through the trauma of cancer in all of its various forms. We were formed, the PeterMac Men Shed was formed primarily to address a need for people coming from the country areas of Victoria and further afield to coming in for radiation or chemotherapy, who would come in and they would be put into accommodation. They'd have a daily routine which may only extend for an hour and a half, and then return to their accommodation to sit there and wait for the next appointment the next day. A lot of people without family, without friends in Melbourne, and the men's shed was the PeterMac Men Shed was formed to try and provide a space where particularly men, but also women, could come and talk and work with people going through the same experiences, and to find some comfort in people going through the same experiences, and also to be creative.
Wow.
That's right. That's a good thing. I know you gave good information about PeterMac Men Shed, but particularly for the resident of North and West Melbourne, what services are there for them, if there is any? Please let us know before we go to break time.
Sure.
So if you give us information.
The PeterMac Men Shed doesn't actually provide a service. What it does do, it provides a space where a comfortable space, a safe physical space, and a safe mental space where people can come and know that they're going to be encouraged and not abused, and do just a good space to be in if they're lonely, and if they would like to participate in community projects too. We have a lot of members who are not cancer patients, but are local residents that participate in our shed. Some of them with all sorts of various ailments and inconvenient diseases. But all of us together, it's a good space. We don't cut grass. We don't we don't repair lawns and sheds or that sort of thing. It's not something we do.
So instead of service, so you recommend to say space is better, I think, or no?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Good. So we go for a short break and we will come back very, very shortly.
Yeah, let's go for a
That's
break.
right.
This is North and West Melbourne Neighbourhood Centre, and we host programs and activities for locals. Visit us at nwmnc.org.au or call us at 9328 1126, or even better, come in person at 58 Errol Street, North Melbourne.
And we are back again for Chatman Friday. We are very happy to have John here from PeterMac Men Shed, and he told us a lot about his background. And also before the break, he told us a little bit about what is a men shed, and it's a space, not a service. But maybe you can elaborate more and tell us what is a men shed for you.
Men sheds are... Every men's shed that you visit or go to, you'll find as a different flavour to it. A men's shed is nothing more than the total sum of the members who are there and their shared experiences and their shared skills. We make up our own rules you'll find that no two men's sheds are exactly the same. I think our space at the PeterMac Men Shed is very functional, very effective, and addresses a lot of the needs of our members who come to us for all sorts of different reasons. And so I think our shed is functioning very, very well, and is really achieving its objectives of making a contribution to people's well-being.
So it's called Men Shed. Are women allowed to be in the men shed? And what's the difference of having when we're having women in the men shed?
We use the word men shed because it's a term that people can readily recognise. There are thousands of men sheds all over Australia. But we are a people shed.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if I was to tell you that we're a people shed, people would have no recognition or understanding of what we do. So we've retained men's shed, but we've got a number of lady members who contribute greatly to the environment of the PeterMac Men Shed, really, really well. And they enjoy being there. They participate.
Yeah. Do you remember any inspiring moments while you're working there? If you think a little bit, someone like did surprising things, during their services to the men shed, or whatever you think you can remember.
Oh, I've got many tales of people who've come to me with gratitude for what we provide, the space we provide, and the environment in which people can just come. They come and go as they please. There's no one takes a role.
Yeah.
We're open 2 days a week. That's all the time that I can afford in my busy life. And our membership is very, very diverse, and we help people in many different ways. People have different needs.
Yeah.
I remember one person who had lost his wife, and they had been together all their lives and were bonded, and he was going through the loss of his wife, and it was really quite devastating. He had to reorientate his life and think again about what was important to him and how he was going to live the rest of his days. And now he came to the shed and he participated with us for a number of months, but he was able to formulate a new life for himself.
Yeah.
And I don't expect to see him in the shed ever again, because he had been given that time and given that space that he could express himself and get his head together, and he's now he's back in the community and launched. So to me, I don't think I'll ever see him again, but I consider that a success.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. So that's so inspiring.
And I think he will always remember the
Yeah.
time that he spent at the Men Shed, because it has helped him to grieve and
Yes.
go through that difficult time.
Very much so.
Yeah,
Very much
that's
so.
right. That's right.
Other members, I know that there's a chap who's confronted with sexuality that's not considered normal, and in the shed he can be accepted, and there's no ridicule, there's no abuse, there's no. He is comfortable in the shed, and I think that's wonderful.
Yeah. Good. So let's continue after a short break again.
Let's
so
go
we
for a
have
break.
to broadcast some of those other information too in this episode.
Sure.
So we will come back shortly.
Sing Now Community Choir. Join music director Susie Kelly in this inclusive community choir for adults of all ages. The choir sings music from across the world and spanning many decades. No previous experience is required. For more info, call us at 9328 1126 or visit our website.
Yes, welcome back to Chatman Friday. This is the second season. Yes, I should say John is still with us, our guest, and we will have maybe 5 minutes more talks with him.
Yes.
today in this episode.
It was a very interesting topic and that we have spoken about, and tell us about a very important activity or space that we have here in our area.
Yes.
That we need to pay attention to, and men who are living in this area need to pay attention to. John, if you can tell us, how did you join this great idea of the PeterMac Men Shed?
Well, I was a member of the Melbourne Men Shed, basically from its inauguration. I've had a long associated with men's sheds, going back over a decade now, and again, as I mentioned earlier, the need is for some of the country people coming in to have chemo and radiation here in Melbourne, and the loneliness and isolation that can generate. So it was a decision made by the Wellbeing Centre management that they would like to establish a men's shed in proximity to PeterMac Hospital, and I was on the committee advising them on what tools that they should purchase and what equipment was needed and what projects they should be attempting to manufacture. So at the end, when they finally formed, and again we had COVID, which stood right in the middle of our program that we had to work our way around. But when the shed was finally formed 4 years ago, they invited me to make an application to look after the shed opening and closing, and of course primarily safety, both in physical and also in mental situations. So that was how I got to be associated with the PeterMac Men Shed.
And where is actually the PeterMac Men Shed? Like, if I want to go, what is the address, and which days and times does the Men Shed operate?
We operate 2 days a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we open at 10. And we go through till 3 o'clock, but that's flexible depending if people have got a wet paintbrush or a project that's near completion, or if there's something that would need a little bit more time. We're very, very flexible. You come when you want to, you leave when you want to. No one tells you what to do. If you want to participate in a project, you can. If you choose not to, just want to have a cup of tea and a chat, that's fine too. As I said before, nobody's going to tell you what to do in our shed. And when I say our shed, it is the members' shed.
Yeah.
It's not my shed, it's the members' shed. and they determine what's to be done, and sometimes they tell me what's to be done, and that's okay too.
Yeah, that's right. So the normal process of the applications for every services or maybe spaces, if I can say, is normally like other organizations. Is it online or paper based? So there's a front desk for the people if you give information.
You can join online. What we do need though is we need a emergency telephone number. We need an address, and though that's bits of information are so that you could be registered with the Australian Men Shed Association insurance for if you come into our shed and hurt yourself, you're covered by insurance. There's a fee for that. For people outside of the PeterMac Men Shed, I think it's about $60 or so a year. I'm not familiar with that, but for patients of PeterMac, we tend to be able to find a way to get people on board as easily as possible.
Yeah, that's right.
And what are the main contributions? Because I know that the PeterMac Men Shed, within these few years, since 2020, I think, have done a lot of contribution to the community. It's what's really helpful for many services existing in the area.
We've done.
So tell us maybe some
all sorts of things. I'm currently sitting at a table which I built for the community centre, and among other things too. And outside the front of this building, there's all sorts of recycling bins, which again were constructed by the PeterMac Men Shed, and the brochures on the brochure stand outside this building was constructed by, again, the PeterMac Men Shed. The safe that contains the personal computers was also constructed by the PeterMac Men Shed.
Wow.
The Queensberry Cup, which is an annual event, the starting ramps were built by the PeterMac Men Shed. The Marshal's chair, it was ours. We've had members who participated in the slushies, the slushy manufacturers on the bicycles. That was run by our shed. As well as that, we've done numerous community pantries around the place. More recently, one in West Melbourne Baptist Church. We put that one up recently. I've been down to Condor Gardens where we did some garden seats, which are really quite magnificent, and also a pantry and also a community library. We've worked with the East Melbourne Library to build flower bed boxes for them. We've worked with a community group in St Kilda where they feed about 120 people once a week with a hot meal, and we provided them with a trolley, which can be a food transport trolley, a serving trolley, and also food prep trolley. We've done coat hangers for homeless people. We've done didgeridoo stands for the Wellbeing Centre. We've done guitar stands. We've done craft therapy trolleys. The fascinating stuff that I find really interesting is that we generally don't do more than one project. Everything's new. We've been doing jigsaw puzzles, trays, which we made 3 of those. One went into the Royal Melbourne, one into PeterMac, and one into what's the other one? The Women's. Yes, went into the Women's. So these are all community projects. We did it was a sand stand for a Narrawarren palliative care. Just all sorts of strange and exotic things that we build, and all of it done generally from recycled timbers or IKEA bed slats or you name it. And we do get a lot of donated timber from people clearing out their garages or lost interest in woodworking projects that comes in. And so we rarely buy materials, and if we do have to buy materials for a project, we ask just if we could be compensated to the value of the materials. We don't charge for our time. And then if other people want to bring in their own private we try and do half and half. We try and do half private projects, which are projects that have been brought to us by members, and half community projects, which is where community groups such as this group come to us and say, "Can you build this?" And generally the answer is yes. But as I said before, we don't have any professional skills, but we have a willingness to attempt and to have a go at building things, and that's something that we very much encourage our members to do, is to have a go. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to stuff up the first one. Second one's going to be sort of okay, but third one's going to be magnificent. But if you don't do the first one, you never get to do the last one.
Wow,
There's
wow.
a lot of
That's
things,
a beautiful message.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful message. And I think that we are very lucky to have the PeterMac Men Shed. And thank you very much for your time, John.
Yes.
I think that I really appreciate it. We
Yes.
appreciate everything that you have said here. Yes.
And just something more too, for those people who are in the community, there is a need. There are people out there in the community who could really benefit from participation in the men's shed. And we don't discriminate against anybody.
Yeah.
And if you've got a friend or a family member who he or she is isolating themselves and needs help communicating with the community, the men's shed is a great way to do that.
Wow. Yes. I can see it on myself because, like I have a lot of things to do and ideas to do, but I say, okay, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Just leave it. But I think that we ended with this beautiful message.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, John,
Pleasure.
for your time and for all of what you have told us about the PeterMac Men Shed and about yourself and about also the importance of the Men Shed. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate it.
You guys do great work too.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
no
you.
worries.
Thank
Also,
you very much.
thank you for building this
This table.
quality table. So we always remember you.
We are lucky. We are lucky to have PeterMac Men Shed by
That's
our
right.
side. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So we will back with you, dear listeners, in our next episode next week.
Yes.
Yeah. So every Friday we'll be there on Chatman Friday.
It's Chatman
Thank you.
Friday. Thank you very much, and see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Chatman Friday.
A podcast for Maine in North and West Melbourne. Chatman Friday.